I'm an atheist, but I wish more people would be Christian. Congratulations, I hope you and your wife have a great anniversary.
You can easily make your wish come true, laughing face.
To clarify my comment, I see so many lost people turning to crime, and I think belief in God might improve their life outcomes. I don't think belief is required for most people, but certain communities are lost in a sea of disdain for wider society which they need to get over before any improvement might happen.
Scratching my head. Oh, I'm still scratching my head, so please go on. You don't believe in God, but you want others to believe in him, the Christian God, so they can turn away from a life of crime. As an atheist, why do you care? What does it matter? Aren't we just all a bunch of meaningless atoms? So you mean there is no other grounding truth that will compel or anchor them? Could it be that this is about you? If they turn away from crime, you will feel safe. Just saying.
We exist in populations, and evolution has given us very adaptable brains with some circuits that dictate how we perceive and act in the world. Groups can operate better or worse depending on the ideas that they promote. Most people don't try to analyze their thought processes, but we basically start life with the 1.0 operating system, and, as we learn, we make impromptu upgrades to attain better outcomes. Kind of like how I learn, but on a much more sophisticated level. Babies are born, they learn to distinguish shapes, they learn object permanence, etc. Each stage in their learning improves their ability to interact with the world and attain positive outcomes. All cultures were honor cultures before evolving into dignity cultures. The basic premise of an honor culture is an eye for an eye. This is very helpful for primitive tribes because stealing someone's lunch might cause starvation given the difficulty of historical life and the unfairness of primitive judicial systems. Conversely, dignity cultures can be briefly described as running on live and let live, or to put it in biblical fashion, turn the other cheek. This ensures better outcomes for populations because petty squabbles can be overlooked without escalating into major family feuds or larger conflicts. Cultures didn't know that some ideas would lead to better outcomes. Cultures which adopted them were more successful, stable and harmonious, so others followed suit. This is very similar to Darwinian evolution. Hopefully, you should be starting to see why I think some people would be better off as believers, even if I don't think there is any factual basis in their beliefs. To elaborate, religions serve as idea distribution mechanisms. If people signed themselves up to those mechanisms, then they would be more inclined to adopt positive ideas and attain better life outcomes, such as not going to jail. As to why I don't believe, that is much harder to communicate, but I am open to Christian moral ideas and ethics, turn the other cheek being a great example. The Bible has been a very popular book throughout history because it helps individuals update their operating system to a more stable version. More stable people make a more stable society which benefits everyone, not just me. I also know of other things which further this goal. Cognitive behavioral therapy, openness, education and martial arts practice are all capable of vastly improving people's lives. I have no way to prove the existence of God, so I don't really care to speculate, although, if there is a logical, compassionate God out there, I'm sure he didn't want me to believe because I can find no logical reason to, and I was made with a strong devotion to rationality. If a God chose to punish me for not believing, it would be like me smashing a machine I just made because it didn't perform as expected. It's not the machine's fault, it's the maker's fault. I don't punish failing machines, I simply start to work on the next model. Thank you for your question. I am not the type of atheist who goes out to deconvert as many people as possible, and I'm not passing judgment on anyone for their religious beliefs or practices.
Well, communists also believe that they have evolved, and they don't need to believe in God. The way I see it, if everything happened by chance, then I can make my own rules. What you call bad, I can call good. For example, what COVID-19, another lump of atoms, is doing, is it good or bad? Says who? The virus is just surviving.
Generally, enlightened people have similar ideas about what is good, Christian or otherwise. We should generally try to maximize liberty, improve education, continue scientific development, be kind to each other, etc. Do you think that all atheists are communists? Do you think all people who believe in evolution are communists? Read through my reply again. If you believe in evolution, there is very little in there which is even contestable. Do you not think Christianity promotes good ideas? That would seem a strange position for a Christian to take. Don't you think having more stable, healthy people would make society better for all of us? Instead of having this boring atheist vs Christian discussion, which almost never ends in a conversion either way, why don't you reread my reply and try to steelman my position? It might be intellectually stimulating for both of us. Even if we have to make up our own rules, who's to say that they are arbitrary? The US Constitution is just some words on paper, someone wrote it with a pen, but there is an inherent truth to the principles behind it. I can believe that without any divine intervention, you don't need a belief in God to set moral principles. I'm not a red, by the way. Christian societies have done some pretty immoral things over the years. The troubles in Ireland come to mind in recent history. Feel free to actually explore my positions, but trying to convert me is a waste of time and energy for everyone involved.
Why being kind to one another is necessary when everything will eventually die. Enjoy your life, do whatsoever. As of us Christian, we recognize that everything has a cause, therefore the universe must have one. We acknowledge him and follow his commandments, for you do whatever. We don't take advice from atheists. Don, if you really want to explore a position, see Doug Wilson vs Christopher Hitchens. Don't be biased towards Hitchens, try to comprehend Wilson's approach.
If Judgment Day will destroy the world, why not live like a monk? There is no point doing anything, as it will all amount to nothing. You seem to think that the opposite if Christian is nihilist. It's not. We are animals evolved to live in groups and care for each other. The world is a place full of great wonders. Just because it will be reduced to nothing one day after I'm dead doesn't mean that there is no value in the present. The fact that a painting is beautiful is irrespective of the fact that it is made of atoms or that it will one day fade into nothing. You seem to be emotionally invested in the topic. When you are able to give a detached, logical and grammatically correct rebuttal to my arguments, I'll be waiting. Until then, I suggest you broaden your reading material and attempt to understand some common atheist arguments before trying to talk to a real one. I hold nothing against you, but your replies have been utterly unconvincing so far. If you want to bring up a tired cliché about atheists or a meaningless platitude, I'll let you have the last word.
There are Christian monks. Anything you say bear no meaning or impact because of your position. Don and see your meaningless comments require long passages, but small passage of theists carry heavy impact and deep meanings. Consider your position of rethinking PLZ. Have nice day in accident-derived universe apes turning into highly intelligent life forms, and after dying becoming non-existent.
My issue is atheists, with all their enlightenment, not having an answer for the misfits and the criminals that would disrupt their utopia, calling on Christians to do that heavy lifting. So you would do God that favor? An ex-Muslim atheist was giving a lecture. I am going to paraphrase her, and she said something to the effect of Christians have been keeping Islamic ideology at bay over the centuries, and she believes the Christians today are slacking, buying into the propaganda of Islam being a religion of peace. So that is why I am saying, wait a minute.
I'm no fan of the religion of subjugation / peace. I live in the UK. I think it might be more productive to unite against religious incursions onto our freedom. There is a major faction in atheism, antitheism, which I object to strongly. You are right that I am asking something of Christians. They are a large part of the Western population after all. Realistically, my philosophy does not preclude working with Christian groups or donating to Christian charities or even partaking in Christian holidays and traditions. I have never and will never say happy holidays. Realistically, there is no one-size-fits-all answer for the miscreants of society. Secular solutions, such as CB therapy, do help, but they are time-consuming and many people are preoccupied with racist ideologies like critical race theory and Marxism. As I said, I am in favor of helping some downtrodden people find God. Many people become religious and quit their alcoholism or criminal behavior. I would not like to take that away from anyone, unlike the anti-theists. When I was a kid, I was forced to pray in school, even as an atheist, and it certainly didn't scar me for life. It did make me resent Christianity a little at the time though. Even kids of other religions had to pray at my school. Let's hope more Christians and atheists can come together in this way. We might save the world after all.
Thank you. My attention span is not that great, so forgive me if I don't read your post entirely in one go. I will read it in bits and pieces. But thanks for acknowledging that you were asking something of Christians, but not just anything though. It's one of the major issues. The power of God transforming lives. It's like you telling us we don't believe your God exists but talk to him for us.
Let's hope more Christians and atheists can come together in this way. We might save the world after all.